Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. I want to tell you what happened to me this week because of all the things I can report to you. When I tell you the things that happened to me, it's the most intimate, it's the most personal, and I can give you the facts as I know them, the best that I can do. So my buddy and I went up to a really special place in the Adirondacks. It's near Tupper Lake, and it's a body of water that the Boy Scouts have basically a claim to during the summer. You can't go in there and fish during the summer. But once they go back to school, it becomes open to the public to go in with a canoe or a kayak or something. They don't allow motors in this water. And I fished it earlier this year, and it was wonderful. So Rust and I went up again. We thought all summer, we can't wait to go back. And we started our days fishing. And we're fishing for bass, both largemouth and smallmouth. And we're not finding a thing. And we're going to areas of that lake that were just absolutely splendid in the spring. But now nothing. Nothing. Not a strike. Not seeing anything. And I said to Russ, perhaps they've all gone out to the middle of the lake where the water's been colder, and it's getting colder, and maybe that's where most of these fish are. So we start across the lake, and he's running his trolling motor as fast as he can, but we've got a canoe, so it's fairly heavy, and we're not moving terribly fast, but we're moving faster than I would reel my line in. And I said, I'll just throw my spinnerbait out there and troll it across. What the heck? And all of a sudden, I get this wicked strike, and I said, Rust, I had a strike. I know this is deep water. This isn't down snagging. I had a strike, but I missed it. And then not more than probably 15 seconds later, and we'd still been moving, bam, again. And I catch this fabulous smallmouth for Adirondack waters. It was about 19 inches long and came out of the water and was doing all this stuff. So I said, okay, there's fish out here. And then near us, now I want to tell you there was no wind, so the water was glass smooth. And near us, we started seeing fish jumping everywhere, almost like trout that come up for a hatch of flies. But I didn't think they were trout. And we're looking, and we really don't see flies. So what's going on? We didn't know, but we knew these fish were right near the surface. And if we could cast to where we're seeing all these fish jump, maybe something will happen. So I cast my spinnerbait and nothing. They were specifically going after something. And so I put on, the only thing I thought might work was these little 1/16 ounce bucktail jigs. And I didn't have bigger ones with me. This is all I had. I didn't think I'd be fishing this way. And lo and behold, my third cast, bam, I hooked a smallmouth bass. And we had, for 2 hours, some of the most incredible fishing I have ever had for bass. It was like what I've experienced in the ocean with bluefish and striped bass when the seagulls are coming down and they've driven bait up to the surface and they're going crazy. But I'd never had this in fresh water like this. And so what we did for the next 2 hours, we cast something out. And let me tell you what made us know what to cast. It was the first bass that I brought in on the spinnerbait, is I got it near the canoe. It started spitting out all these 2 to 3 inch minnows that they'd been gorging on. And they were coming out of its mouth like a shower of minnows. And I'm like, holy cow, these fish are feeding on these little minnows. What have we got like that? And my bucktail was the closest thing. And then Rust had one in the boat. That's all he had. Something he'd used in the Grass River, a little 3-inch paddle tail Z-Man minnow. And so that's what we caught our fish on. What is interesting is these fish were gorging on these minnows. In other words, they hadn't even swallowed them yet. Their mouths were full of minnows, and yet they were striking our baits. And as they would fight and jump, their mouths would come open, and out all these minnows would flow. It was really amazing. And I'll tell you, I will remember this for the rest of my life. I will remember this day. And I hope I can get back there this fall. We might not find them again. You might not have this frenzied activity where they had chased bait up near the surface. But it's something I'll never forget. And boy, was it fun. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.